I'm writing this on my break. I started this job 2 weeks ago. I'm not going to say where or for what company. You'll understand why. Let's just say it's a private roadside assistance and emergency response service, a new one. Very well funded. The whole selling point is our next-gen dispatch center. You're probably picturing a bustling room of people in headsets, phones ringing, controlled chaos. It's nothing like that. It's more like working inside a supercomputer. The room is vast, dark, and silent, except for the low thrumming hum of server racks that line the far wall. We sit in these ergonomic pods, each of us facing a triptych of curved monitors. There are only 6 of us on the floor at any given time, for a service area that covers thousands of square miles of rural highways and backroads. We don't need more people because of the system. That's what they called it in training, always capitalized. The system. It's a beast of an AI. It handles almost everything. It routes calls, prioritizes incidents based on 1,000 different data points, and even suggests conversational scripts for us to follow. My job title is Incident Manager, but for the first week, I felt more like a glorified data entry clerk. A human component meant to appease the user on the other end of the line, while the machine did the real work. When a call comes in, the system instantly transcribes it. On the left monitor, I see the live transcript. In the center, a dynamic map with GPS tracking, vehicle telemetry, and weather overlays. The right monitor is the spooky one. It's the system's human factor analysis. It displays a real-time graph of the caller's voice stress levels, heart rate, if they're using a compatible vehicle or smartwatch, and a list of keywords it flags for emotional distress. It even has a deception probability metric. It's cold, clinical, and unnervingly accurate. My first week was a blur of monotony. Flat tires, dead batteries, people who'd run out of gas. A guy locked his keys in his car while it was running. A woman hit a raccoon and was more upset about the raccoon than her busted headlight. For every call, the system served up the perfect and most efficient response. I understand this is frustrating, sir. I'm showing our nearest provider is 22 minutes away. Can you confirm that you are in a safe location? Every interaction felt prepackaged, sanitized. I wasn't connecting with a person in distress. I was managing a data point, guiding it through a flowchart until it was resolved and I could close the file. The humanity of it, the raw panic or frustration, was just another metric on my screen. A wavering line on a graph that the system monitored with detached precision. I started to miss my old job at a generic corporate call center, where at least I got to deal with genuine, unfiltered human anger over a billing error. Here, the silence between calls was the loudest thing in the room. The hum of the servers, the soft click of my keyboard, the faint, sterile smell of ozone. It was all the sound of perfect, lifeless efficiency. Then came last night. It was late, around 2 a.m., the kind of deep, oppressive dark that only happens far away from any city. The call volume had dwindled to nothing. I was sipping stale coffee and scrolling through a newsfeed, the monitors in front of me glowing with their idle waiting screensavers. Then, a chime. A new incident. The screen lit up, and the call connected automatically. Before I could even launch into my scripted opening, a voice flooded my headset. It was a man, and he was gasping, his words tumbling over each other in a frantic, breathless rush.
Hello? Hello, is anyone there? Oh God, please, somebody answer.
Sir, you've reached roadside assistance. My name is...
I don't care. You have to help me. I crashed. My car, it's dead. Totally dead.
On my right-hand monitor, the voice stress analysis graph spiked instantly. It wasn't a gradual rise. It was a vertical line, straight into the deep red zone labeled extreme. A dozen keywords flashed in a list below it. Crashed, dead, help, God, somebody. The system was already cross-referencing the incoming number with the cell tower data, and a location began to resolve on my central map. A long, winding stretch of road through a dense national forest. No houses, no businesses, nothing for at least 30 miles in any direction. Okay, sir, I can help you. Just take a deep breath for me. The system is getting your location now. Can you tell me what happened? I was reading the script off the screen, but my own heart started to pound in my chest. His terror was infectious. A raw signal of animal fear that cut through the sterile technology separating us.
I was driving.
He stammered, his breath catching in ragged sobs.
There was something in the road. No, not something. Someone. A person just standing there.
Okay, sir. Did you hit them? My finger hovered over the button to conference in the state police.
No. I swerved. I went off the road into a tree. The airbags went off. The whole front of the car is just gone. It's so dark out here.
Can you describe the person you saw? There was a pause, and for a moment, I thought the call had dropped. All I could hear was his ragged, shallow breathing and a strange, faint rustling sound in the background, like dry leaves skittering across pavement.
They were just standing there,
he finally whispered. The volume of his voice dropped, but the intensity skyrocketed. The graph on my monitor didn't budge from the red.
in the middle of my lane, staring at my headlights. And their arms, they were out, to the sides, like a scarecrow or something.
The system's keyword analysis added a new, bizarre entry. T-pose. I had to read it twice.
Just standing there.
He repeated, his voice cracking.
I laid on the horn, they didn't even flinch. Nothing. I had to swerve.
Are you injured, sir? I forced myself back to the protocol. The system was prompting me with a checklist. Assess immediate medical needs. Verify location. Ascertain vehicle condition.
No, I don't think so. Shaken up. My head hurts a little. But the car's dead. The battery, everything. I tried to call 911, but the call wouldn't go through. No service. I don't understand how I'm even talking to you.
We operate on a proprietary network in some areas, sir, for situations just like this. That, at least, was part of the standard company spiel.
I found the number on a little metal plaque,
he said, his voice distant, as if he was recalling a dream.
On one of those mile marker posts. It just had the number and your company logo. It was the only thing I could think to do.
He broke off, and I heard a sharp intake of breath. The rustling sound in the background got louder. What is it, sir? What do you hear?
I don't know,
he whispered. And the terror in that whisper was a physical thing. It felt like a cold pressure in my ears.
Something's moving. Out there in the woods. It's circling. I can hear it in the leaves.
My blood ran cold. The map on my screen was a vast, uniform green, a dense forest with one thin ribbon of road cutting through it. There was nothing else. I could almost feel the suffocating darkness, the sense of being utterly alone and exposed. Sir, I need you to stay in your vehicle and lock the doors. Help is on the way. I have your location locked. I'm dispatching a heavy-duty tow truck right now. The driver's name is... I glanced at the auto dispatch information the system provided. His call sign is Unit 73. He's about 15 minutes from your position.
15 minutes?
The man's voice escalated into a choked sob.
I don't think I have 15 minutes. Oh God, it's getting closer. It's not an animal. It sounds heavy.
The line was filled with his frantic breathing. I didn't know what to say. The system was offering me platitudes. Reassure the client. Remind them that help is en route. But how do you reassure a man who sounds like he's being hunted? Unit 73 is the closest unit available, sir. He's moving as fast as he can. Can you see the road from where you are?
Yes, I'm hiding behind the car. In the ditch. I didn't want to stay inside. It felt like a trap. I could see the road. There's nothing. Just trees. So many trees.
His voice was a tight, high-pitched wire of fear.
Please tell him to hurry. I think it saw me.
The rustling was louder now. Closer. It was punctuated by a sharp crack, like a heavy branch snapping. The man on the phone let out a small, terrified whimper, and then the line went dead. Sir, are you there? Silence. The system automatically tried to redial the number. Once. Twice. No connection. I sat there, my hand frozen on the mouse, staring at the red call disconnected message on my screen. The voice stress graph was frozen at its peak. My own heart was a frantic drum against my ribs. I looked around the dispatch center. The other 5 operators were placidly handling their own calls, their faces illuminated by the calm blue and green data on their screens. The silence of the room felt predatory. I did my job. I finalized the dispatch. Unit 73 was already on his way, a small truck icon moving steadily across the map on my center screen. I added a note to the file. Client disconnected during call. Expressed extreme duress. Believed he was being pursued by an unknown entity in the woods. Advise caution on approach. It felt horribly inadequate. For the next 15 minutes, I couldn't focus on anything else. I took 2 more calls, a simple lockout and a fender bender, handling them on autopilot while my eyes remained glued to the map. The little icon for Unit 73 crawled along the winding road, getting closer and closer to the flashing red pin that marked the caller's last known location. Finally, a new icon blinked on my screen. An incoming radio transmission from Unit 73. I clicked to accept it.
Dispatch, this is 73. I'm on the scene.
The driver's voice was calm and professional, a little gravelly, like a man who'd been driving all night. 10-4, what's the situation? My voice was a little higher than I wanted it to be.
Well, the vehicle is here, all right. Looks just like the system said. Late model sedan, silver. Things wrapped around a big pine tree. Airbags deployed. Front end is completely crumpled. It's a real mess.
I held my breath. And the driver, 73, do you have eyes on the client? There was a pause. I could hear the crunch of his boots on gravel over the radio.
Negative, dispatch. Vehicle is empty. Doors are unlocked. No sign of him. No blood, well, nothing. just an empty car.
My stomach clenched. He said he was hiding in the ditch near the vehicle. Can you check the immediate vicinity?
Already on it,
The driver said.
Standard procedure. I've got my mag light out. The woods are thick as thieves out here, but... Hold on.
I heard more crunching sounds.
Yeah, I see scuff marks in the dirt here. Looks like someone slid down into the ditch. Some footprints too, but that's it. They just stop. A few feet from the car. It's like he just vanished.
Just vanished.
Yeah, it's weird. But hey, people get dazed after a wreck. He could have just wandered off into the woods. I'll do a wider perimeter sweep. You want me to hook up the vehicle in the meantime?
Affirmative, 73. Secure the vehicle. Continue the search. Keep your radio open. I was about to close the radio link and update the file when the call chime rang again. My head snapped up. It was the same number. The same incident file popped onto my screen, overriding the map. A wave of relief washed over me. He was okay. He'd probably wandered off, found a spot with a signal, and was calling back. I patched the call through with a genuine smile on my face. Sir, it's good to hear from you. We were getting worried. Our driver is on site now.
Oh, hello.
The voice on the other end said. The relief evaporated and was replaced by a cold, sharp spike of absolute confusion. It was the same man's voice. The same timbre, the pitch, the accent. It was identical, but the terror was gone. Completely. This voice was calm, placid, almost serene. On my right-hand monitor, the voice stress graph was a flat, perfect line. 0. It was a healthier-looking EKG than a person in a coma. The system, for the first time since I'd started, seemed confused. The deception probability metric was flickering between 0% and 99%. Sir? Are you alright? You sound different.
Yes, I'm fine.
The calm voice replied.
I apologize for the earlier call. I was in a bit of a panic. You see, I swerved to avoid a deer. It startled me, that's all. I was a bit shaken up after the crash, but I've had a moment to collect myself. I feel much better now.
My brain was struggling to reconcile the two calls. The raw, primal fear from 15 minutes ago and this placid monotone. People can be in shock, I told myself. Shock can do strange things. That's good to hear, sir. But my driver's on the scene and he can't find you. Where are you?
Oh, I'm here.
The voice said pleasantly.
I just walked a little ways down the road to get my head straight. You can go ahead and cancel the truck. It was a false alarm. I'm perfectly fine.
I looked at my center monitor. The GPS locator for the call's phone hadn't moved. It was still a blinking dot right next to the crash site, right where Unit 73 was standing. Sir, I said slowly, trying to keep my own voice steady. My system shows you're calling from the exact location of the accident.
That's correct,
he replied, without a hint of confusion.
I'm right here.
But my driver doesn't see you.
He must not be looking in the right place.
A knot of ice was forming in my gut. This was wrong. All of it was wrong. The system was still flickering, unable to get a read on him. "Okay, sir," I said, my mind racing. "To confirm, can you describe your location for me? What do you see right now?"
"Of course,"
the voice said, still unnervingly calm.
"I see my car. A silver sedan. The front is smashed into a large pine tree. To my left is a shallow ditch, and beyond that, the forest. The road is dark and empty, except for the tow truck. It's a large white flatbed. The company logo is on the door. The emergency lights on the top are flashing, casting a yellow glow over everything. The driver is a man, a little heavyset, wearing a baseball cap and a dark jacket. He's currently walking along the edge of the woods, shining a flashlight into the trees."
He described the scene perfectly, chillingly so. He was describing exactly what I could infer was happening from Unit 73's radio transmission. He described the truck down to the flashing lights. My hand was trembling as I opened the radio channel to my driver again, my voice a low whisper. 73, this is dispatch. Come in."
"Go for it."
His voice was a comforting slice of normalcy in the growing madness. 73, I'm on the phone with the client. He claims he's on scene with you. He's describing your truck and your current actions perfectly. There was a long silence on the radio.
"Dispatch, that's impossible. There is nobody out here but me. I've swept a 50-yard radius around the car. There's nothing. No one. The only sounds are the crickets and my engine."
I switched back to the caller. My throat was dry. "Sir, my driver insists he's alone. He's done a thorough search."
"He is very thorough,"
the calm voice agreed. It sounded appreciative.
"A real professional."
This had to be a prank. A sick, elaborate prank. But how? How could they know the details? How could they spoof the number and the GPS location? My mind was a whirlwind of impossible scenarios. I had to break the deadlock. I had to find the glitch in his story. I leaned into my microphone, my eyes locked on the flat line of his voice stress analysis. "Sir," I said, my voice barely a whisper. "Can you do something for me? Can you wave to my driver? He doesn't see you." The line went silent. It was the longest silence I have ever experienced. The hum of the servers in the dispatch center seemed to grow louder, filling my ears. I could hear my own blood pounding. Then the voice came back, and all the artificial calm had been stripped away, replaced by something ancient and cold and utterly alien. It was still the man's voice, but it was a recording, a hollow echo.
"Oh,"
it said, with a soft, breathy texture that wasn't human.
"He can't see me."
Another pause. I heard a faint, wet clicking sound from the caller's end.
"But I can see him."
My blood turned to ice.
Tell him.
The voice continued, slow and deliberate, a thing savoring its words.
Tell him I like his smile.
Before I could even process the words, before I could scream into the radio, Unit 73's voice erupted in my headset. It was a choked, guttural gasp. A sound of sudden, horrifying realization. The sound a man makes when he turns around and finds his worst nightmare standing an inch behind him. The gasp was followed by a single, high-pitched, piercing scream of pure terror that was abruptly cut off. Then, silence on the radio. Absolute, deafening silence. The call with the client disconnected at the exact same moment. I stared at my screens, my mind completely blank. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. The map showed Unit 73's icon, stationary. The radio link was open, but there was only static. The call log showed the disconnected number. Then, on my right-hand monitor, the human factor analysis screen, which had been analyzing the second call, flashed with a final, system-generated report. The flickering metrics resolved into a definitive summary. It was 2 lines of stark white text against the dark background. Voice stress analysis, 0.0%. Mimicry confidence, 99.8%. I stared at the words, not understanding them at first. Mimicry. Confidence. And then the chilling logic of it slotted into place. A key turning in a lock in the deepest, most primitive part of my brain. My breath came back in a single, ragged gasp. I slammed my hand on the emergency alert button on my console, the one that's supposed to bring a supervisor running and automatically patch in law enforcement. A red light on my console flashed, but no alarms went off in the room. Instead, a message popped up on my screen, overriding everything else. Incident file locked. Protocol 17 activated. Please remain at your station. A supervisor is en route. Protocol 17? We had only been trained up to Protocol 9. A moment later, my supervisor appeared behind me. He wasn't running. He walked with a calm, deliberate stride that was 1,000 times more terrifying than if he'd been panicked. He was a tall, severe-looking man who usually only speaks to give clipped, efficient orders. He didn't look at me. He looked at my screens, his eyes scanning the final report, the dead radio link, the locked incident file. His face was a pale, grim mask. I need to call the police, I stammered, my voice sounding thin and reedy. That driver. My God, that driver. You will do no such thing, he said, his voice quiet but absolute. He reached over and, with a few keystrokes on my board, brought up a new menu I had never seen before. It was a simple classification screen with a list of department codes. You handled the incident by the book, he continued, his eyes still fixed on the screen. You followed procedure. That's all.
But what happened? What was that thing? We have to warn people. We have to send...
You have to do your job. He cut in, finally turning to look at me. His eyes were cold and tired, like someone who has seen this all before. Your job is to manage the incident and classify it correctly. He pointed to a code on the screen. I'd never seen it before. It just read, Containment Office. Mark the file with top priority, he said, and route it to that office. Then you will take the rest of your shift off. You will go home. You will not speak of the specifics of this call to anyone. Not your coworkers, not your family, not the police. Do you understand me? I was too stunned to speak. I just nodded dumbly. He watched as I used my trembling mouse to select the code and hit send. The entire incident file, the call recordings, the transcripts, the AI analysis, the location data, vanished from my system. It was like it never happened. The screen returned to the idle, waiting screensaver. Good, he said, and then he walked away, leaving me alone in the silent, humming darkness of the server room. I've been sitting here in the break room for an hour. I can't go home. I don't think I can ever drive on a dark road again. This company, this system, those strange numbers on the mile markers in the middle of nowhere, they are not for people with flat tires. They're for people who run into something else. Something that the regular authorities can't handle. And we, the incident managers, are the switchboard operators. We are the first line of a defense I didn't even know existed. We take the calls from the poor souls who stumble into the dark spots on the map, and we serve them up to... What? The containment office? What are they containing? I don't know what happened to that first man. I don't know what happened to my driver, Unit 73. But I know that thing is still out there, in the woods, waiting. And it's learning. It has a new voice to add to its collection. The gravelly, professional voice of a tow truck driver. And sooner or later, it's going to get a chance to use it.